Hey guys, I'm back again and I'm here today to do a book haul. So I don't usually do a lot of these, but last Saturday was my birthday. Yay! So I had a great birthday weekend and I received some books that I ordered for myself for my birthday, and I received a few books from friends. And I got a few books from the publishers. So I'm going to share those with you. And hopefully I can get to a good portion of these maybe before the end of the year. I'm really going to try. I'm at the point of making making a list of some of the books that I just absolutely want to finish before 31st of December. With the idea that my reading goal for this year was originally 100 books, and then I changed it back to 60 because your girl was just out of sync by March, okay? So I'm doing 60, and if all goes well, I'll be finished my goal at the end of the month of October. So with that being said, stay tuned, get yourself a cup of tea or some coffee, and I'm just gonna sort of show you what I have received. So the first book on the list is Natasha Brown's Assembly. So I think this is the British edition. Yeah, it's Hamish and Hamilton. I received this book from my daughters for my birthday, and I heard when this came out, I was really excited to try it out. I'm just going to read a little bit of the inside cover. It says, the narrator of Assembly is a Black British woman. She's preparing to attend a lavish garden party at her boyfriend's family estate, set deep in the English countryside. At the same time, she's considering the carefully assembled pieces of herself. As the minutes tick down and the future beckons, she can't escape the question, is it time to take it all apart? So this is Natasha Brown right here. And this book just came out a few months ago. It's quite short, a lot shorter than I expected. I don't know why I expected this to be like a 300-page book, but it's super tiny. It's hardcover too, so I'm sure it costs like arm, leg, and a ball. Thank you, sweeties. That's for my daughters. Okay, next book I have here is, this one is coming out. I think it might already be out. I'm not particular. Oh yeah, this is coming out. It came out on the 28th of September of this year, and that's Wole Soyinka's Chronicles from the Land of the Happiest People on Earth. Okay, this one, the publishers, this is Bloomsbury, asked me if I wanted to have a copy of this for review. I said sure. It says, much to Dr. Minka's horror, a shady but well-organized consortium converting body parts to unconventional use is operating out of his hospital. Already at the end of his tether from the horrors he routinely sees in surgery, he shares this latest development with his oldest college friend, bon vivant, star engineer, and Yoruba royal, Duyol Pitan Payne, who has never before met a puzzle he couldn't solve. Neither realizes how close the enemy is nor how powerful. So I said yeah to this, and my goodness, this is a brick. My goodness. Okay, so this one I wasn't expecting to be this long. It is 444 pages, okay? It's quite a tall book because it's hardcover, but I'm going to try to give this one a go. It sounds very interesting, so yeah. Let me know if you've heard of this one, if you're planning on reading it. Yeah, that one was a bit of a surprise because I didn't know that Wole Soyinka had a new book coming out, but when I heard, that it was coming out and they were proposing it to me, I said, why not? Let me give it a go. Okay, so the next book I have on my list is Exiles of Eden by LaDon Osman. This is a poetry collection put out by Coffee House Press. And if I'm not mistaken, wait, here she is right here, LaDon Osman. There she is right there. This is the poetry collection that I think it just came out. Oh no, it came out in 2019. Okay. This came out in 2019. Now I like poetry, so I'm hoping this one, you know, will be good. They proposed this one to me and I said, oh, it's a poetry collection. Okay, let me give it a go. So I'm going to let y'all know what I think about this one. Next book on the list I have is China Room by Sunjeev Sahota. Okay, so this one is on the Booker Prize list. It was not shortlisted. It was only longlisted, if I'm not mistaken. But Sunjeev Sahota wrote The Year of the Runaways, which was also, I think, longlisted for the Booker. And this is supposed to be like a sequel to that. So I'm interested to see what this is all about. Although I haven't heard very many people talk about it. The only person that I really heard anyone talk about it to a certain extent was PETA over at Comfy Cozy Up. And she seemed to really like this one. Okay, next on my list I have Colson Whitehead's Harlem Shuffle. Oh, everybody been waiting for this one and it's finally out. I've only heard a few murmurs about it. Some people find it surprising. Others have found it interesting. They say that Colson Whitehead is having fun with this one. So I'm kind of anxious to see where this is going to go. It says, to his customers and neighbors on 125th Street, Ray Carney is an upstanding salesman of reasonably priced furniture, making a decent life for himself and his family. He and his wife Elizabeth are expecting their second child, and if her parents on Strivers Road don't approve of him, or their cramped apartment across from the subway tracks, is still home. Few people know he descends from a line of uptown hoods and crooks, and that his facade of normality has more than a few cracks in it. Cracks that are getting bigger all the time. So yeah, this one sounds like it should be a lot of fun, and I'm very anxious to get to this one, and hopefully I will get to this one this month. Next on my list I have The Sex Lives of African Women by Nana Darkoa Sekiyama. And this one just recently came out. Here she is, the author. Okay, so this one, it says, The Sex Lives of African Women uniquely amplifies individual women from across the African continent and its global diaspora, as they speak of their diverse experiences of sex, sexualities, and relationships. Many of the women who tell their stories in this collection recall the journeys they have traveled in order to own their sexualities. They do this by grappling with experiences of child sexual abuse, resisting the religious edicts of their childhood, and by asserting their sexual power. From finding queer community in Egypt to living a polyamorous life in Senegal, to understanding the intersectionality of religion and pleasure in Cameroon, to choosing to leave relationships that no longer serve them, these narratives are as individual and illuminating as the women who share them. So yeah, so this one I'm gonna try to dig into as well. I think it's something that it sounds like it's a book that's urgent and something that needs to be read and discussed. So yeah, so there's that one. Next on my list I have Craft in the Real World, Rethinking Fiction Writing and Workshopping by Matthew Salesis. And this one was gifted to me by my girl Christy from Brown Island Reader over on Instagram, and here on YouTube she's Christy Kia. We talk a lot about books together. We talk a lot about writing and craft, and she gifted me this book for my birthday. Thank you, girl. Thank you. I've been sort of dabbling a little bit in here, you know, kind of skimming some things, and I'm finding it very interesting. I can't wait to sit down and really deeply read this one. This one will probably not be, I'll read it before the end of the year, but it will be definitely, I'll be reading it over time, because I've been needing some answers about my particular problem with my creative writing. So this one right here, I'm very happy to have been gifted. Thank you, Christy. Okay, the next book is Black Mamba Boy by Nadifa Muhammad. Okay, Nadifa Muhammad has been on my TBR for a very long time, but have not read any of her stuff. What sparked me to get this one was when I saw that she was nominated for the Booker Prize this year for The Fortune Men. So I thought, okay, let me go and get one of her backlisted books and start there. I'm going to read this one, but I'm going to read also another one. And then I'll probably get to The Fortune Men, because I feel like I don't know this author well enough to, go off and embark in their latest work. I feel like it's a much better idea for me to start somewhere in the backlist. So this one was, if I'm not mistaken, was also nominated for, it was shortlisted for the Guardian First Book Award in 2010. But this book, it says, Jama is 10 years old and has grown up in the slums of this ancient city, learning to survive amongst the ragamuffins and vagabonds of the port. When he loses everything, his only chance of survival lies in finding his father, who disappeared years before. So begins an epic journey by foot, camel, lorry, and train through war-torn Eritrea and Sudan, to Egypt, Palestine, and finally to the icy realms of Britain that Jama heard about in Yemen. The story of one boy's journey is also the story of how the Second World War affected Africa and its people, a story of exile and survival, and a vivid tale of love, friendship, and boundless hope. So yeah, this one I have a feeling is going to be very good, and it's probably an excellent place to start with Nadifa Muhammad. So yeah. Now, last but not least on my list, I have Palmarès by Gail Jones. Now, y'all know what I think about Gail Jones. Yes, when I talk about Gail Jones, you got to get your mind right because of Corregidora, Eva's Man. But Palmarès is the first book she has published in 20 years. I had to have it. This one I had to have, and I have such high hopes for this. Like, y'all, it's going to be hard to shoot my ass down. So, God, I hope this one is as good as I'm hoping it's going to be. But it says, Palmarès hails the return of a major voice in literature, the best American novelist whose name you may not know. Gail Jones was first discovered and edited by Toni Morrison, and her talent was praised by writers including Maya Angelou, James Baldwin, and John Updike. After a handful of acclaimed novels, she withdrew from the publishing world. Now Jones returns with her first novel in over 20 years. In Palmarès, Gail Jones brings to life a world full of unforgettable characters, reimagining extraordinary historical events and combining them with mythology and magic. The result is a sweeping story spanning a quarter of a century. As the New Yorker noted, her great achievement is to reckon with both history and interiority and to collapse the boundary between them. Like nothing else before, Palmarès embodies this gift. So, yeah, this one, this is maybe the book of 2021. Like, this one and Harlem Shuffle are the two books that I've been waiting for this year the most of the books that have come out. So that's it. Those are all the books that I either purchased myself or were gifted or were given to me from the publishers. Let me know if any of these are interesting to you. I will try to do reviews on a few of these when I'm done with them, with the hopes that I can get through quite a few of these before the end of the year, because the end of the year is just upon us. It's gonna be here in no time. So that's all I have for you today. Look out real soon for my BookTube prize judging video, which should come out hopefully October 2nd, I think, because I'm waiting like everybody else to find out which one of these books on, you know, on this list is going to be the winner. It could just be any of them because, wow, the list was a tight race. So with that, I will see you in just a few days. Bye-bye.